My name's Evan Roberts. So you just bought a piano online, you just had it delivered, you spent the money to buy it, you spent the money to have it delivered, you found the space, now it's time to get it tuned. My advice would be to not just have the piano tuned. The first thing would be to wait a little bit so it adapts to the humidity of your house. The next piece of advice would be to have it tuned and regulated and service it. So this piano is Iverson Pond grand piano is a good example. We went to the piano and we cleaned the piano, we polished it, polished the pedals, and we did some other things in this video.
I think. 15. Look at that.
It's broken, the loop is broken.
Can you fix it?
So the first thing we did on this piano was some of the keys weren't working, so that was the main concern they had, and they were like, oh, we're going to give it to our kid, but it doesn't work. So lubricated some of the springs, the jacks on the top of the piano where the notes weren't working because the jack wasn't going underneath properly when you play the key. Like an older style. This key is not working because this spring it's meant to readjust the action every time you play it. So this loop is broken. See that? Broken there. So I'm just going to change that out. So I'm going to just get this out somehow. Either pull it out or break it out. So what broke was this string in here, and then this little cork. I need to replace this little bit of wood which holds the string in place, the loop.
Step 1. Cut the fishing wire.
Cut the fishing wire. Yeah, I think it works.
Tools weak. You want something else?
No, I like the height. Let me try and
That's going to a carpenter. I mean,
it's not in our culture to sue. The second thing we did was we loosened some of the hammers that were tight. So what I did was basically, if the hammer doesn't swing properly, when you hold it in your hand and you let it go, it should be about 7 times. This piano wasn't 7 times, so I lubricated all of them, made sure that they were loose. They have the layer underneath as a sign, usually, of a good hammer. There's only really 2 hammer manufacturers nowadays, and they're both good, Arbor and Renner. The piano's been re-strung, I think. It's 1915. They changed out the pins, they've changed the strings, I think. Yeah, I'd say those strings have been changed maybe 20 years ago.
oh, it's a huge arc.
Yeah, the grand piano, you can see the harp really clearly. Get a couple of clips of tuning, maybe like a couple of seconds or something.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. After we've done regulating and we tuned the piano, so tuning an old piano like this, it takes about 2-3 passes because it hasn't been tuned for a long time. So I had to tune it once to stretch the strings, second time to tune it, and the third time to stabilize notes that had gone out of sequence. Then after we tuned it, I regulated the action to raise the hammers so that they're at the right height for playing properly. And last of all, to make it look nice, because it was a present, we polished the cabinet, got rid of a lot of those small brown marks, scratches, and we polished the pedals with the help of Brown. The action's in the right place before you press the key. The hammers have to be the right height. So that's not very even, but I'm going to line it up a bit better. But this is the proper height of the hammer. It's floating above the back rail where it's supposed to land back there. It's not supposed to be resting on there. So they didn't have a measurement in the book I have for measurements, so I used a similar piano and I raised the hammers according to the string. I raised them. You don't want to have to force your brain to do it. I'm going for 2 inches away from the string for the hammer, which is based off another brand of piano, which is also generally older pianos. The height of the hammer is adjusted by this little capstan here. The key is a lot to do with it, but the key's at the right height, so I'm just going to adjust the capstans and pull up the hammer a bit. Before apps, when I was a boy, before apps, you would have to use another instrument. This is the other instrument. So just tuning this piano, and then one of the pins is loose. So this is the most scary tool I use. Well, no, it's the strangest tool for a piano tuner to use because you don't expect to use a hammer on a piano. I'm about to use the hammer on a piano to push this pin inside of it more because it's loose. So I got this tool to it spreads the blow evenly. It doesn't damage the other pins. It doesn't damage the frame. It focuses the impact on the pin. So I'm gonna knock it in just to tap it in. It was loose before. Well, I should have shown it too loose, but so it's a bit loose. See that?
Sorry?
I'm just putting some old English. I'm English, but this is old English furniture polish. And yeah, it can liven up any scratches in a piano you buy or you just got or you've worn out with the kids, whatever. They just left home and you want to make it look nice again. You just put it on or on the cloth and it gets rid of a lot of scratches. I've already done this bit. I'll show you something that hasn't been done already, which is, just lift this up. If you get some old English on. Luckily, if I get on the floor is like a dark colour, so I can polish the floor. It happened to me yesterday. I polished the floor a bit.
Oh.
And you would never know. It looked better than it would before.
Yep. Piano tunings and renovations.
Yeah. It turns into this long renovation because you keep breaking stuff. Alright, so you can see that it's not perfect, but all those little dots gone away. It looks way better than it did before, and it's just a little bit of elbow grease in Old English. The
Old
dark
English polish.
Old English polish, mate. After all that and tuning with the dog, we're able to play the piano, and the customer's very happy. So you just bought a piano on the internet. Maybe there's more that needs doing. You feel like you need to get it checked through properly. Just check my website, and I'll put a link below. And we offer a service for half a day's work where you can get it tuned, regulated, checked, and cleaned as much as we can do the most important things for your piano. And we'd be happy to help you. Thank you for watching.